It's the news at 12. In the news, Supreme Court consolidates suits by 10 states on Naira scarcity. JAMB suspends 2023 direct entry registration. Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Emmanuel charges all eligible voters to participate in Saturday's presidential and National Assembly elections. On the foreign scene, U.S. President Joe Biden vows that Russia will never win in Ukraine. And sports, Real Madrid beats Liverpool 5-2 in Champions League last 16 first leg. Details coming up shortly. Good afternoon and welcome to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM Uyo. I am Mary Joseph. We begin this afternoon with a report that Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Emmanuel has charged all eligible voters in the state to participate in the Saturday's presidential and National Assembly elections. Governor Emmanuel gave the charge while addressing party faithful at the gubernatorial campaign rally of the People's Democratic Party in Udom. The governor, who stressed that voters are the only ones who would decide winners in the election, urged them to follow all election procedures on election day to enable them cast a valid vote. He warned eligible voters against selling their permanent voters card PVCs, as it was the only power they have to elect leaders of their choice.
Make sure you are accredited before you now go and vote. If you are not accredited, don't vote so that you don't invalidate your vote. And hold your PVC very well. If anybody comes to buy your PVC, don't sell it. Don't give out your PVC for any reason. That's your power. That's what you use to put the next government in place. So hold it very, very well.
Government House correspondent Jane Uwa reports that Governor Emmanuel, who is also the chairman of the People's Democratic Party Presidential Campaign Council, appealed to the people of the state to vote for all the party's candidates at all levels during the election. The Presidential and National Assembly elections hold this Saturday, while the governorship and state assembly elections is scheduled to hold on March 11, 2023. Still in politics, with just few days to the 2023 Presidential and National Assembly election, the Ikot Senatorial District Elders Forum, a non-partisan coalition of leaders of all political parties in Akwa Ibom Northwest Senatorial District, have thrown its weight behind the decision for Back Federal Constituency to produce the next senator for the Senatorial District. The meeting was convened by former Minister of Petroleum Otuekon Don Etiebet with the leader of the Senatorial District and Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Moses Ekpo, MFR, in attendance. Their action, they insist, is to ensure the sustenance of the prevailing peace, unity, progress, growth, development and prosperity of Akwa Ibom Northwest Senatorial District. The meeting held yesterday at the auditorium of Whitman University, Ikot also vowed to ensure no one man is allowed to cause political disaffection in Anang Land in particular and Ikot Senatorial District in general. In a 10-point communique issued at the end of the meeting, the leader said, in view of the new need to maintain the prevailing peace, unity, progress, growth, development and prosperity in Akwa Ibom Northwest Ikot Senatorial District, they met to brainstorm, analyze and evaluate issues relating to the forthcoming February 25, 2023 senatorial elections and the future of the senatorial district, and resolve to adopt and endorse the former PDP National Legal Advisor and PDP candidate for Ikot Senatorial District, Barrister Udom Emmanuel, as the consensus candidate for the election. According to Don Etiebet, the leaders said they took the decision as representatives of the various communities as a communal effort and social contract they owe the people, and as such urge all eligible voters for the senatorial district to use their PVCs on Saturday, February 25, 2023, to enforce the decision by voting for Barrister Emmanuel Noidem, having been picked as the strongest candidate among the array of candidates from Abak, Etimekpo, Ika Federal Constituency, and vote for him to emerge as the next senator for the senatorial district.
You should respect this guy, and that is why I wanted to add another one little resolution to all what we have said already, that we call upon him to avoid a definite defeat again and surrender his position and surrender his ambition to contest for this senatorial district again and adopt, as we have adopted, Barrister Emmanuel Naira.
Going down memory lane, Akwa Ibom State Deputy Governor Moses Ekpo stated that Ikodekpene Akwa Ibom State Northwest Senatorial District Leaders Forum, despite the action of the Senator Goswell Obodakpabio from Ikodekpene Federal Constituency, which has produced senators 5 times with 2 from his family, including himself, Senator Goswell Obodakpabio, for not listening to the voice of reasoning, brotherliness, fairness, and equity in the districts to drop his ambition to contest again, but to give a chance to a back federal constituency that has not tasted the seat in 63 years. They vow to vehemently reject and resist any attempt to cause disaffection, disunity, and political crisis in the senatorial district by anybody or any group of persons, no matter how highly placed. Addressing the gathering, former APC state chairman and 2019 deputy governorship candidate Dr. Amadou Atai thanked the leaders for the courage at standing by the truth, submitting that the days mark the rewriting of the history of Anang land for the good of its people. On his part, a former deputy speaker of the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, Uwe Mudoma, noted that the issue of Abak Federal Constituency producing the next senator is about justice, equity, and fairness, and urged the people to go out on Saturday and send a clear message with the power of their PVCs through the ballots. He also assured that Barrister Enoidem will make Ikodekpene Senatorial District and the Anang Nation proud as their senator.
Senatorial District, Federal Constituency. It's now Abak Federal Constituency after 63 years.
Responding, Barrister Emmanuel Noidem, who expressed delight at the ability of the leaders to come together irrespective of political party affiliation, noted that this is the first time in the history of the senatorial district that such a non-partisan coalition meeting was taking place, and promised to ensure the sustenance of the meeting regularly once elected into office, assuring that he will not disappoint them in his legislative representation in the state.
I mean, we assure leaders in Yebogami and all 10 million reform. Mogania Emmanuel, into local government area, village, Otikoraboro. Jamie Maka send them on coming that will not let the government sit down. No assurance, like me tell me in my word as a senator. No assurance that what this thing represents will be kept alive in my tenure as a senator.
Now to the national scene, where Supreme Court has consolidated the suit instituted by the 10th state government against the federal government challenging the implementation of the Naira redesign. Recall that at the last hearing on February 15th, 7 states joined the 3 initial states as co-plaintiffs, while Edo and Bayelsa states joined the federal government as co-defendants. Expectations are high as the Supreme Court consolidated the suit today. The court, however, refused to join Abia State in the suit on the ground that it came late with its originating summons. All efforts by Abia State government to be joined in the suit was turned down and was ordered to present its case at a later date. A motion for the consolidation was also argued by the Counsel for Rivers State, Emmanuel Ukala, moving the motion on notice. Ukala premised that the consolidation request on the need for the suit to be heard without any hindrance, since the matter borders on same issue. The head of the 7-man panel, Justice John Okoro, granted the request and ordered consolidation of the 10 suits into one. Now the plaintiffs in the suit are the Attorney General AGs of the Kaduna, Kogi, Zamfara, Ondo, Ekiti, Katsina, Ogun, Cross River, Sokoto and Lagos states, while the defendants are the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, as well as the AGs of Bayelsa and Edo states. In education, the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has announced suspension of its ongoing 2023 direct entry registrations. The board, in a statement by its head, Public Affairs and Protocol, Fabian Benjamin, explained that the registration, which commenced on Monday, February 20th, was suspended with effect from Tuesday, February 21, 2023. The suspension, according to a statement issued by JAMB is to enable the deployment of certain measures which are designed to better serve prospective candidates. The statement said that a new date and fresh registration procedure, which will include the upload of JAMB admission letter in the case of OND and NCE, admission letter issued by universities in the case of university diploma, and admission letter issued by A-level examination bodies, IJMBE and JUPEG, would be announced in due course so that candidates could proceed to JAMB offices nationwide to register. The statement added that candidates are also to note that only JAMB offices are approved to register them for direct entry. Still in education, the National Youth Service Corps NYSC has deployed over 200,000 Corps members as ad hoc staff to partake in the general elections scheduled for Saturday. NYSC Director General DG Yushau Dogara Ahmed made this known today in Abuja while speaking with journalists on the preparedness of the organization for the forthcoming general elections. He said those to participate in the election have already been trained by INEC officials, both in and outside orientation camps, warning that they must not accept food from anybody. According to them, the NYSC has put in place measures to ensure the security of Corps members during and after the election. Ahmed said part of the effort was meeting with heads of security agencies to ensure that they are secured. The DG warned Corps members against collection of any form of gratification from politicians during the election. On electoral matters, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in Oyo, has secured cash from the Central Bank of Nigeria to conduct free and fair elections in the state. The Oyo State Resident Electoral Commissioner of the INEC, Adeniran Teller, made this announcement in Ibadan while speaking to journalists. Teller said over 2 million voters are expected to vote in the coming elections in the state, adding that eligible voters would vote in the 6,390 polling units across the state. The commissioner said about 760,766 permanent voters' cards were yet to be collected by registrants, adding that the commission was ready to conduct a credible and acceptable elections in the state. He therefore urged eligible voters to come out en masse and cast their vote for candidates of their choice during the elections. You're listening to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM Uyo. Let's take a breather and then bring you more stories from our foreign, sports and entertainment scenes. Do stay with us.
Healthy living begins with the choices one makes. Choosing to live healthy is the first step to healthy living. Join us Sundays 1:30 to 2 p.m. for Healthway, awareness for healthy choices.
Many thanks for staying with us. Now on the foreign scene, United States President Joe Biden is due to meet Eastern European leaders today, a day after vowing Russia would never see victory in Ukraine. Vladimir Putin has said Russia will press on with its nearly year-long war. He accused the West of escalating the conflict and announced Moscow would suspend participation in the New START nuclear arms treaty with Washington. The Russian president said increasingly stringent sanctions on the country will not succeed and vowed his country would keep fighting to systematically achieve its aim. Speaking hours later in the capital of NATO, Poland, Biden pledged that Ukraine will never be a victory for Russia. In sports, Vinicius Jr. and Karim Benzema scored twice as Real Madrid produced another stunning Champions League fed-back from 2-0 down to trash Liverpool 5-2 in the first leg of their last 16 tie at Anfield. Darwin Núñez and Mohamed Salah had given the host a perfect start in the repeat of the last season Champions League final, but Vinicius struck twice to level by half-time, and after Edna Balacio had given Carlo and Santino men the lead, Benzema's doubled with the holders while on the way to the quarterfinals. Still in sports, Egypt Under-23 coach Mahmoud Garba has hinted that the young Pharaohs will adopt a different tactical approach, which they take on the Flying Eagles today at the Cairo International Stadium. The United Pharaohs, who were held to a goalless draw in their opening fixture against Mozambique, are aiming to qualify for the FIFA Under-20 World Cup final later this year in Indonesia and also clinch their fifth Under-20 title on home soil. Currently second in Group B with a point, Garba revealed that his team is tactically ready to curtail the Nigerian side, desperate for a win. On the entertainment scene, UK-based Afrobeat singer Princess Orekunwa Adenuga, popularly known as Princess Ade, is set to release her Summer 4 single entitled Local. The 27-year-old singer and songwriter teamed up with Grammy-nominated producer ATG for the production of her second Summer 4 album, scheduled for release at the end of the first quarter of 2023. The entertainer is said to be currently working on songs for her first ever extended playlist EP as an independent artist. It's been the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM Uyo, but before we go, a recap of the major stories. In the news this afternoon, we brought you a report that the Supreme Court has consolidated the suit instituted by the 10 state governments against the federal government challenging the implementation of the Naira redesign. The Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has announced suspension of its ongoing 2023 direct entry registrations. Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Emmanuel has charged all eligible voters in the state to participate in these Saturday's presidential and National Assembly elections. On the foreign scene, we told you that United States President Joe Biden is due to meet Eastern European leaders today, a day after vowing Russia would never see victory in Ukraine. And sports reported that Vinicius Jr. and Karim Benzema scored twice as Real Madrid produced another stunning Champions League fightback from 2-0 down to trash Liverpool 5-2 in the first leg of their last 16 tie at Anfield. For comments and coverage of a newsworthy event, call our newsroom on 0812-770-2940. Visit our website at planet101fm.ng and follow us on Twitter at planet_101FM. Also like our Facebook page at Planet 101FM Uyo. The news was edited by Isaiah Udo and Jane Uwa. Lastly, as Nigeria decide this Saturday, think hard on our national lives as with your one vote, make a decision that will positively favor our generation and generations unborn. I am Mary Joseph. Good afternoon.